Hi everyone, I'm going to show you how to do front pads on your 2016 Toyota Hilux with two tools. This is all you need. If you're at home and you don't have a bunch of tools, that's all you need, obviously apart from your wheel brace, which your car comes with anyway, to take off the wheel. But that's all you're going to need is to replace your front brake pads. Now these are your pads here. That's the part number that if you want to buy genuine pads, it doesn't matter, you can buy whatever you want sort of thing. So now, when you get your pads out of the box, two pads will be the same, two will be different. Now, two will have wear indicators on the bottom, just like these ones here. So those ones there need to go on the outside pad. And then you'll have another two, like this, which don't have any wear indicators on the bottom. Now, a way to check your brakes. Now, I'll show you. You kind of need to take your wheel off to check brakes. You're not going to be able to really see them very well unless you take the wheel off. Now, if you see here, I'll just try and get the camera in a bit of light. So you can see this outer pad's quite worn, the inner pad's got a little bit more meat on it. That's nothing unusual, but they both need to be replaced. Now if you look on this side here, if you can see in there, I'll just get the torch, you can see the wear indicator is quite close to the disc. So quite often if you get squealing with your brakes on your Hilux, it's not actually the pad touching the disc, it's actually just this little metal wear indicator here which rubs on the disc and indicates that you're going to need front brakes. So we'll set the camera up here. Make sure you got your steering so you can turn it. So you want to just turn the caliper out, like the whole steering hub out towards yourself. Now what you got on these, you got a bunch of little pins. So you got two pins on this side and two pins on that side there. So if you just get your long nose pliers, I'll try my best to keep my hands out of the way. You just pop the little clips off like that. You can see they've got like a little holding tab on them. So the bottom one here, you might need to just turn this pin so you can just spin it around. If you can get it to come around. So we'll just turn that one around a little bit more. You might actually be able to pop that pin out like that. So there's your second pin out. So just put them down somewhere where you're not going to lose them, because you can replace them with a piece of wire if you have to, but you're best off not to. So now you just need to remove your slides. So you might need to just tap on them a little bit. So these are both your slide pins. So just use your long nose pliers just to pull them out from this side here like that. You don't need to, it doesn't matter, top one, bottom one, you can remove either one at any sort of time. So they just pull out like that. Same with your bottom one, we'll pull them out as well. Now your bottom one's got, this is like anti-rattle type clip that sits on your brake pads. So you just need it, they just pop out like that. It's just like spring. They always need to mount, so with the loop down on the bottom side. So there's always got to go in that side into your pads. So once you've got them out, now what you need to be sure of before we actually lever on this with a screwdriver, like I know this is not the best way to do your pads, but if you're at home, it's the cheapest and quickest way to do pads. Now you want to check your disc, make sure there's not a huge lip on your disc here, make sure there's not a bunch of scoring over your surface of the disc as well. But if you've got a huge lip here where it sort of comes up and rises out, you need to replace your discs as well. Of course, also, if you've got a really huge lip there, when we push on these pads, it'll probably most likely crack that little lip there if it's really badly worn. So now, all you need to do is just knock your pad down just a little bit, so you can get in there with your screwdriver, and you can just start to push the pad back. Because these old pads you're not going to use, so you just push them back, keep pushing back. You'll have quite a bit of resistance. Now you can only do one side at a time. So once you get there, then get it in the middle. Then you can push both pistons back. And see, you go back till it's flush. So you want to make sure it's flush till there. And just push your pad forward and pull your pad out. Now these are your shims. These needs to go over to the new pads. So make sure you get your pad with the wear indicator, which is the same as on that one. Then you just need to take all these shims off. Like there's a stack of 3. The bottom one here just pushes off. You should be able to just push it off with your hand or your screwdriver. So we'll just push that one up. Press that one to be a bit hard to get off. There we go. That pops it off. If you bend the tab up, just bend it back down a little bit with your pliers. Obviously just because that one's a bit stuck to the pad. So you get your new pad, sit that bracket on there like that. your second one over the top, and your last backing plate over the top of that. Then obviously make sure the holes all line up. Now sit that one back in. Now it should just go in easy, it shouldn't have any real resistance or anything like that. Get your caliper pins, just sit them back in so it holds that pad and you don't lose your shims, don't move on it. So just sit the other pin in like that. And then we'll just do the same to the other side. So now we just push that one out a bit. Should be able to just tap it down. The only reason you're tapping it down is so you can get a little bit of leverage there, just to push against the pad, like that. And once you've got enough sort of material there to work with, you can kind of push it away. Doesn't matter if mine's going to drop down out of the way a bit. And push the same as the other one. Push it all the way back till both pistons go in flush. Pull your caliper out. Same deal. Swap your pad shims back over onto the new pad. So you might have to just push this one off again. So obviously it's probably a bit stuck on. And you can hear it sort of, it's like stuck to the actual pad. We've got that one off. Just clamp that one back down a little bit. Same deal. New pad. Line up. If the clip's a little bit loose, just tap it in so it's nice and firm up against the pad. Like that. Might just take it off and just give it a little bit more. Bend it a bit more with the pliers. You got that one on. Other shims back on. And that's it. Throw our pads back in. Like I said, they all should slide in nice and easy. You shouldn't have any sort of real binding or anything like that. Put your first caliper pin back in first, just so you get that pad lined up. So put your first one in, and now we've got to put our little anti-rattle shim back in. So you've got to remember that the top part there like that needs to go off the top into the pads like that. So you can sit them in like that, and then a little bit tricky, then you slide your pin across a little bit and put the second one in. Slide your pin further across so it locks it in. Bring your pad up, and then just grab that and then just clip that back inside to into the hole into your pad. Just need your pliers just to pop it in there like that. And that's how that sits. And it also keeps your pads pushed out too, so when you're driving, your pads aren't constantly running on the discs. And then we go back to our two little clips. They just pop on like that. There don't need to be any force or anything bent or anything like that. Pop them on like that. That's job done. Front pad's done. So it's not a hard job. Don't be sort of too scared of it to do. The old pads, you do whatever you want with them, throw them in the bin. Yeah, and like I said, that's probably, I'd say that's got about 30%, and that one would have around about 20% pad wear left. So if you do get your car serviced and someone tells you it's got 20% pad left, that's about what you're looking at, which that's not going to make it to your next sort of service. And that's it, pad's done. So we'll move over and do the other side, but I won't share how to do that. And what we'll do is we'll bleed the brakes in a minute, but you don't need to really see that if you're just doing a set of front pads on the Now once you've done your brakes, you need to jump in, pump the pedal a bunch of times. So get in, just pump your pedal up and down a bunch of times. We'll take the key out so we stop it beeping. So you need to pump your pedal till your pedal gets hard. This is before you take it for a drive. And then once you go for a drive, you need to bed the brakes in. So what you need to do, you've got to drive at around about sort of 60-70 k an hour. Find a quiet spot, hit the brakes fairly firm. Don't lock them up, but just give it a good hard stop. Go again, stop again, go again, stop again. Like do it like 3 or 4 times with some decent brakes. Like we actually got to pull the car virtually up to a stop, and that'll give you enough time to bed the brakes in. So you just got to take off that little extra piece of material on the outer side of the pad, and then once you bed the brakes in, then they're all sweet. So Anyway, so thanks for watching. I hope that helps you out, saves you a bit of money, gets the pads done for cheap. I think the Toyota pads, how much were your pads, Dennis?
108.
108 bucks from Toyota. So I know most workshops will probably charge around 300 bucks to do the front pads on your truck, and you can do that for 100 bucks. You're going to save yourself a heap of money, and they're not hard to do. Yeah, and I hope that, like, if you've got any questions with putting pads, doing pads like that, just drop us a message and I'll hopefully answer your question. But anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel, give me a like if it helps you out, and yeah, a thumbs up, and yeah, thanks very much. Cheers. See you on the next video. Bye.